Hello everybody, welcome back to Shining Empathy. My name is Joel and this is your full moon card reading for August, I think it's the August 18th that it actually happens, at least here in Toronto, 2016. So apologies again, I said this in the weekly reading, but apologies for not getting the last new moon reading out. Again, I'm not sure if anyone even noticed. But if you did, I'm really sorry that didn't make it out there. It was just bad connection issues. The moon readings tend to go a little bit longer, and the size of the videos just wasn't compatible where I was for the upload speeds. So that, and it was just a lot of busy happening while I was away. So all those factors, it just didn't happen. So sorry for that. But so we're going to pick up here on this full moon, and this time I am actually going to pan the camera down, get you to have a look at the spread while I'm doing it, so you can see the cards. I'm just going to set the intention that this is for the full moon, and this is for whoever is watching this video. What do we need to know for this full moon cycle? And to reiterate, full moon cycles are about sort of things coming to a peak or a close. The new moons tend to be about setting the intention for something new and sowing the seeds. But whereas now we've kind of put in all the work and it's sort of the celebratory time, the peak of the energy falls off after this. So what do we need to know for this full moon and between now and the next new moon? You know, I'm going to stop right there. Got a flasher there. All right. So let's start with the root of the situation. Actually, let me just pan the camera down here. Okay. So let's start with the root of the situation here. Creation. So creation has been somewhat of a theme lately, manifestation, particularly in my daily readings on Instagram. I'm not sure if any of you are following that. But this being the root of the situation, it means that we've been definitely putting a lot of our manifesting powers to good use. We're creating a lot of things for ourselves right now. The sun's shining on us. We have the power to create whatever we want. And it sounds like that's where this is all stemming from. So let's see what we put into it. So we put our strengths into it. So whatever our strengths were, your talents, passions, creative talents, whatever it is that are your strengths is what fed this creative cycle. And our self-power grew from this. So whatever it is that we're working on has been actually feeding our self-worth and our self-power, our ability to motivate ourselves. That's what's grown out of this. So awesome. Challenge. So, and I don't know about you guys, but I certainly have a hard time with this one. I'm not very good at planning and strategy. So that seems to be in our challenge spot this week, for this full moon. That planning is not going to be on our side. It's going to be a big challenge for us. So maybe we don't have to focus on that so much, but if you're having trouble or struggling with the whole planning, putting pen to paper and just trying to line it all out, make a list of what you need to do, you know, that might be a little bit difficult this time. Okay. So being in our opening spot, apparently something that's coming into the situation is going to be some stress, worry, / anxiety. I can ask more about that in a minute. Okay. Indecision, and this is in our strength spot, which is a little bit funny. I find that when an odd card like that comes up in our strength spot, sometimes it doesn't mean that it's a strength. It means that the card itself is being fed strength, meaning it's being amplified. We are coming to a point of major decision. We are going to have to make a choice, go left or go right, and it's not going to be a matter of, well, I can just put off the decision. I'm going to have to actually make a decision. So let's all watch out for that one. what this is all coming up to in this situation. We are going to have to walk away from something. We are being guided. I don't know if you can see from the camera here, but we are being guided. There's like a divine light there. Some people might say it's a fairy, butterfly. I just personally see the energy and the light to it, and it's very divine to me. So we're being divinely guided to walk away from this, and we are being guided to new horizons, to bigger, better things. But we are going to have to leave something behind. So let's bear that in mind. I would like to come back and ask about, actually, I'm going to start with the strategy. I want to see what we're going to have trouble with strategy. So this is kind of what's going to help us with planning. Friends, community, all right? So if any of you are having trouble with strategy, bring your friends into it, bring your family into it. Whoever your kind of like tight little group is, your little community, maybe it's only one person, but whoever it is that you kind of gain strength from in terms of clarity, focus of thinking, someone that's going to help you gain perspective maybe, bring them into it. And maybe that will help you with the planning and strategizing, okay? The anxiety, let's look at that. Okay, so it looks like we're worrying about trying to be in a certain place. The woman embodies, this woman in particular, the woman holding coin, she embodies strength in a way. She embodies confidence and stability. She is not someone you want to trifle with. She's a woman of authority. So it looks like those qualities are posing issue for us if we're having trouble embodying them, or if someone in that role is giving us an issue, depending on your situation. My guess would be that we're having trouble embodying those roles to accomplish what we need to accomplish, or we're worried that we're going to have trouble doing that. But being in our opening spot, I don't see it necessarily as that big of a challenge. It's just going to be something that we have to know about, the fact that the stress, anxiety might actually rear its kind of ugly face, and that it might be about trying to get through all these things and embody these qualities and put our feet in these shoes, so to speak. But we will be able to do it. I don't see any reason in the cards so far that's saying that we can't do it. It's just a matter of we're going to be a little bit stressed out about it. Okay? Indecision, I'd like to know more about that. Okay, so appreciation is about kind of counting your blessings, paying attention to the small things, and what really, I'm actually hearing something very specific right now, and it's follow your nose. The woman here is she's not even necessarily smelling the rose, but when I look at this card, I think stop and smell the roses, and with that right now I'm getting follow your nose. So trust your senses. If you're not sure which way to go, left or right, pay attention to your senses. Like when you smell something that gives you a really good feeling, and I don't like to necessarily categorize feelings as good or bad, because I believe all information, including emotions, which I believe are just sensory information, is neutral information. We've just been programmed to give it a bad or good context. But for the purposes of this discussion, whatever gives you a good feeling, you need to go towards that. Something like kind of rots your stomach if you think about doing something and it's just like, oh God, do I have to do that? Maybe that's not the direction for you, even though that might be the most adult thing to do. Maybe that's just not the way to go. It's hard when we're faced with situations where we're being asked to take responsibility for our lives and do what we need to do, be an adult, do adulting. But sometimes we really just have to pay attention to our feelings and trust those and follow where those guide us. So if it's a left or right question, do I do this or do I do that? Pay attention to how each of those makes you feel and go towards the one that makes you feel good, that gives you a really good feeling. That sounds like a blessing, okay? I don't really want to talk more about what we're walking away from. For everyone, it might be a completely different situation. And I think that all we need to know at this point is that we are going to have to leave something behind. To get into the specifics of that, I feel I can muddy the situation sometimes, so I'm just going to leave that be. So I'm going to pull one more card, and it's our theme card. All right, incoming resources. So door to value. What this card essentially means is that we're working to bring in better resources. We're working to bring, and the door to value, like, it doesn't necessarily just mean money. Okay, that is definitely a big part of it, but we are all working towards just having more for ourselves, maybe more freedom to do what we want to do, more time, whatever resources it is that we're trying to pull in right now. That's kind of what's energetically fueling this situation. All right. Okay. So I think that is that. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this week's reading for the full moon. If you liked it, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shining Empathy. And also check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I think that's it, at Shining Empathy. And I look forward to doing our next readings. Again, I'm not sure if we're still going to keep up with the weekly and the full moon. I'm contemplating doing either one or the other, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, until I make a decision, this is the format for weekly and the new and full moon, so we'll keep that up. All right, so happy manifesting, everybody. Happy creating, and I'll see you on the other side. Love and light to you all. Bye for now.